We have never been closer to World War III. I don't think that national alert test that we all got on our phones was just a coincidence. Joe Biden came out and said the United States will officially give full, rock-solid support to Israel in the conflict happening right now. With all this happening, I want everyone to ask themselves one very important question. In the event that a massive conflict happens and we decide that we want to send troops, and if for some reason they institute a draft, unless there was an attack on U.S. soil, which I God hope there never is, I don't see people actually going and fighting even if they're drafted. And that's just based on reading the room and looking around at how much people are suffering here in this country. If they put that out and it gets to that level, I think there's going to be more problems on our own homeland after a draft than what they would ever expect to see happen anywhere else in the world. Because the people that have 18, 19-year-old sons and daughters, because they would send women too, with how much we've been getting screwed as the middle and lower class workers in this country by the greediest and wealthiest people and politicians, unless something happens here, which I hope never does, I don't see people actually getting up to fight. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. We have never been close.
Shalom. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, that's GMS. Peace and blessings to the Akim and a few Akwat across the four winds. Now, I saw this video on Instagram, and I just wanted to do a quick lesson on it. You know, we're getting closer and closer to World War III, but also we're getting closer to Jacob's trouble. Ultimately, that micro charagma is going to be pushed, and then Yahweh Shai is going to be sent by Yahweh, and ultimately we're going to be saved. You know, Lord willing, we have that hopeful elect. So Lord willing, this quick lesson is edifying to the elect, which is the 12,000 men from the 12 tribes of Israel. The rest of the 1/3 will be the men, women, and children, you Israelites only, and those that, you know, resonate with this word, that your forefathers go back to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But Lord willing, this is edifying. First precept I have is Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So when you go into woe, that's death, destruction, mourning, and sorrow. So pretty much that's war. When it's time of war, it's going to be a lot of death, destruction, mourning, and sorrow. So the second woe is past, World War II is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So we've been at, you know, in the beginning stages of World War III, but ultimately it's going to be the war to end all wars. You know, if those were really the chosen people in that land, they wouldn't be at war. But hey, when the Yahweh Shai comes back, he's going to determine who's the real chosen people, because Yahweh Shai is going to put us back in that land, as the scripture has said. You know, Yahweh Shai, his name means he is salvation. He's our deliverer. He's our redeemer. Then Yahweh, his name means he is, he exists, he to be. You know, Yahweh, whom is God, he's the Ancient of Days. He is the Father of spirits. So he's going to stir these spirits up to stir up, you know, World War III. But yeah, this guy's saying things like he hoped that war doesn't touch Babylon the Great, or the virgin daughter of Babylon, which is America. Hey, this place is going to be thoroughly touched up. It's going to be a lot of chaos going on. It's going to be martial law going on. You know, it's going to be, hey, the time of Jacob's trouble. You know, and Lord willing, we can be saved out of that. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So the U.S. backing Israel, you know, we're not ignorant to their devices. You know, what they're trying to do in Ukraine by trying to get closer and closer to Russia, you know, so that they can move in weaponry, even in South Korea. But these other nations, the Lord is stirring up their spirits, you know, to defend themselves. So we're not ignorant to his devices. And then when you go into that word devices, his evil purpose, he's trying to stir up the Hamas versus Israel, you know, trying to get a lot of the Americans on his side so that he can have some type of, I'll say, validation for doing what they're going to do. But all these things that they do come from the inside. All these jobs, you know, I like these inside jobs that they've been doing, from like Pearl Harbor, you know, Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, which I like when young elder Malcolm goes into it. You look at Brandon here, his shirt is white, but look at him, he's red. That's Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, but they're actually red. When you go into Edom, that word is red. So we can't be ignorant to his devices. Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. Hey, World War III. You see the question mark? Yeah, it's here. It's just heating up. The Lord is starting to heat it up as these prophecies are starting to pop even more. But we're not troubled. We're more excited because we know that our salvation draweth near. You know, we're not sleeping like others. You know, we're the seers, so that goes into being a prophet. So we're seeing that things happen before and we're prophesying about it. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So we know that they have to push the microcharagma. We know that there's going to be, you know, famines and pestilences. And, you know, ultimately then World War III, then the height of World War III, then Yahweh Shah's going to crack those clouds on that fathership with the heavenly host, you know, which is the heavenly army, the angels in those chariots, which they're called clouds or chariots in the scriptures. You know, the world calls them UFOs, but we call them IFOs. They're identified in the scriptures as chariots or clouds. And we definitely have, you know, Lord willing, those angels are on our side, but we definitely have more of them than they do of them. So, you know, they have the Space Force and then they have the Air Force, but they can't defend themselves against a chariot. They don't have the type of technology. Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Hey, like this guy was going into, it's going to be a lot of chaos. People not going to want to go to war because they understand the so-called propaganda and they understand that they're going to be dragged into it, but really they're not going to have any choice because there's going to be a lot of people sent to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the so-called Middle East, Yahweh's judgment, to go there to be judged. So as the scriptures say, it's going to be a lot of widows also, which is going to help aid in that Isaiah 4:1. You know, 7 women should take hold to 1 man. You know, 7 is just the number of completion. But if it's a lot of men that's sent to war, well, it's going to be a lot of women too, but a lot more men are going to be sent to war, and they're not, once they get sent to war, they're not coming back. You know, they'll be reincarnated. That's the only way they're going to come back. And there should be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So during Jacob's trouble, it's going to be a famine, not only famine of food and water, but also a famine of the word. It's going to be a lot of pestilences, you know, a lot of diseases, a lot of plagues that is going to be going on also. And earthquakes in diverse places. It's going to be even more earthquakes because it's going to be thermonuclear missiles shot off. It's going to be, you know, other kind of rockets and things shot off from submarines. Those are going to cause earthquakes. And then Matthew 24:8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Yes, it's going to be, you know, sorrowful, you know, it's going to be a lot of pain, you know, from seeing a lot of people get sent to the spirit world, but we know that we're going to be closer and closer to salvation. And that was pretty much all that I had on this. Lord willing, this quick lesson was edifying. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and bless to the Akim and a few Akwath across the 4 winds. Shalom and a Ball. You know, shalom to the hopefully elect.